as one of many quests of 2024 was to explore most if not all of the back beach of the Mornington Peninsula. So far, the lackluster of good conditions and not having my own license because I'm not 18 yet has steered me further away from this achievement. However, I have finally been able to make a start of a journey exploring new areas. More specifically, number 16th Beach and Dragon's Head. So that's what I'm doing now.
So this is the famous Dragon Head Rock.
We start off with footage of rough conditions to relatively calm, then later you will see the new areas I checked out.
We're down.
You'll hear this a lot, but similar to the last video, number 16 Beach and the Dragon's Head is located at the back coast of the Mornington Peninsula. And not surprisingly, when I first saw the Dragon's Head on Google Earth, I was pretty intrigued. This footage dates us back to the 20th of April 2024. There is already a video up on the channel with this day's footage, which is mainly focused on the waterfalls. That day the tide was a bit low, but the waves were still powerful enough to trickle off the rocks. Now I'd say I'm a rookie with the GoPro, but back then especially I sucked at filming and stabilization. This is also due to only having the floating hand grip. But looking at the horizon, you can see I also use the wide angle lens, which gives that rounded look. I personally really dislike that, so I now film in linear.
It's very eroded, holy shit.
When I first see things, I definitely have a lot more of a reaction. Such wow factor. Anyway, as mentioned, if you want to see more of this day, it is in that other video.
All over the camera.
Before we fast forward to the 4th of November, I wanted to mention I have been here a few times during winter and early spring, and I couldn't even film anything because of the proximity and strength of the waves. Let me quickly explain. The waves and whitewater were actually far away and obviously dangerous to be near, yet still strong enough to get me wet, even on these rocks. The reason why this spot is 10 times worse than others on high tide is 1. Because there's no large sea stacks or cliffs that stick out and block the strong waves. 2. Hard to notice, but the wave cut platform slowly lowers, which only accelerates the wave more. So during winter, like I said, I was on these rocks and I thought about walking and sitting on that little dragon, but there was no way I would get there. Again, I have no videos, but believe me on this. Luckily, fast forward to the 4th of November, I did manage to get there with way less stronger waves. Right here was the spot I had to be. You can see the smaller waves still crashing on the rock. Imagine this at a much larger scale. Anyways, moving on. I trot my way over to the Dragon Rock.
We made it. Oh my god. We made it on the rock here.
And it honestly did not feel safe being there. I mean, just check out that water. I will say this a lot, but out of all places, this is the one you really need to be there to see it. Especially because the GoPro is not for capturing good quality distance shots. Investing in a better camera and sitting there would be amazing.
Standing up there, standing there.
Anyway, moving on to the 23rd of November, I got a calmer tire which finally gave me a chance to start exploring.
We're on a low tide now, finally. Check that out.
If you watched the previous video, I talked about rock topography and a specific area called the impact zone. And if you did watch that video, see how familiar this spot looks? Especially with the rock on the bottom there. And not surprisingly, this is actually the area that creates the water splashing that I showed before.
Right at this corner is where it is the most dangerous. It comes the most strong, really strong. So obviously don't stand here unless you want to get washed off into the deep water. Just here.
Before you click off, I won't be explaining every single little area, just these ones at the front here. Not very common, but some parts of the rock are a more gradual climb and allow the wave to be much stronger. So this little area is that right there. And here it's even more stronger. And even on this calm day, I kinda nearly got swept away again.
power. Then this here, better fall off.
To elaborate, I was standing on this section of the rock. Then a little set came and both the swash and the white water rising up here combined. Here it is about to happen right as my GoPro battery dies.
Don't know how this works. It's a path of seaweed. Different kind of seaweed to the left and right, and then the algae in the middle. So all along here is where I've been wanting to go.
I do mention this ahead, but the GoPro audio in some clips sounds muffled because I had to dip it in the water. This is because the batteries overheat and I need some way to cool them down. But yeah, it's not very durable, which is a shame. I'd say this is one of the best examples of water erosion and how rugged and broken the rocks are. But just wait and see what's to come.
Another time, but this time I filmed it at a time where I thought I was going to get knocked over. Alright, we're good. That just shows how it just doesn't matter if the swell is fucking 0.9. You can still just, unexpected, man. It is so unexpected. Going in caves like this, I always end up with a problem or two with the camera exposure. This rock here must have fallen down, possibly, from the top there. Here's one of those areas, like I just explained, where everywhere else the rocks would be still pretty bare dry. But here, nah, always wet, unless it's a little 0.1 swell day. But yeah, this is just an area I would just really like to be, not down here, up on the rocks, just seeing how strong the white water gets through here. Yeah, this GoPro's worrying me, I don't know why. I keep saying ran out of space, getting hot and all that stuff. I just can't handle the conditions that I'm trying to film with, so I'm honestly thinking of getting a new camera. But for now, I'm just gonna do what I was going to explain, but I'll explain in a voiceover. What I'm gonna do with the rocks over there.
Literally all my plan was to use my little boogie board to swim across that little section of water to the next rock. Because clearly you can't just walk into and around this little bay. I wish you could though. And speaking of which, I couldn't actually find the name of it.
I didn't really think this through. As much as I envisioned this plan that I had perfectly, the only thing I don't really have is a waterproof bag to put my stuff in. I would take this tripod and the board right now and just go. It really isn't that bad. But the thing is I need batteries and I need water shoes. I can't have water shoes on while I'm kicking in the water because it'll sink me down. And just amongst other things, I need to bring my stuff, and I can't because it's on a board and it will obviously fall in the water, and that water's pretty deep. See how the water is a lot lower today? Partially because the tide is much lower, but it also is a bit more wavy. So once again, you get that trough. Especially in there, look at that.
So, because I quote unquote didn't think this through, I had to walk in a rush all the way back through the rocks, up the wooden stairs to the car park, put the board back and find a path, and only then figure out a way to get down.
I thought maybe it was going to be flat enough for me to be able to put the stuff on the board and still paddle, but one, it isn't really flat enough. Two, the water's super low, which is what I like, but the water's super low, so jumping in the water with the board with the stuff on it is not ideal. So there's a fork in the road.
Apart from the scary dangerous cliffs, I honestly would camp and spend the night in an area like this. Best escape in my opinion.
So down there is where I wanted to paddle across. I'm not going to go over this gate because I don't trust this place. Obviously, gotta listen to the signs, but we're gonna go along the fence, and it looks like there is a path, so I think we can get down. Otherwise, we're gonna go all the way around. Follow the footprints. Follow the footprints. It is not down there. Just gonna keep going. God, this path is so narrow. What the hell? Go through here. Look who's found it, finally. Dropped my water bottle down somewhere else, but we have made it. I gotta say, honestly, first impression, this place is honestly scary, man. It is scary. Just leaving my stuff here next to some bee-lit anemones.
And so the journey begins. I'd say the hardest part of editing these videos is cutting out parts I'd like you to see, but for time's sake I have to. Anyhow, I'd also love to talk about everything, but I'll keep the chit chat to a minimum.
Oh my god, you can tell I'm new here, I didn't even see that. spot right now. How similar is it to that bathtub spot that I've shown in the previous video?
Got soaked again.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
More wow factor, but this does prove that underneath these rocks is mostly hollow.
Check out this rock here, man. I'm gonna stand on it. So this rock has most likely just had it and it is sunken down. Boom. Because God knows what's happening underneath. Something else I haven't really seen too much is you can see how that seaweed is growing on those rocks as they've all kind of broken off into little bits. See in there as well, they've either broken off or broken off from here and gone into here, so it's gotten seaweed on them. As you can see, that right here is where I wanted to go and board across to here. It would have been difficult getting up here especially. So you can see those layers. See some of them are broken off down here. And then you also see that rock's broken off. But possibly that one with the seaweed on it, because that green seaweed is normally the seaweed that grows the fastest. That beautiful purple seaweed. You can see the layers. See the layers, it's got that greyish, and on the top is the sandstone, or the sandy, whatever. Gonna get rashes anyway. So it is 5 o'clock, so I'm gonna go a little bit. I think I might go maybe until this battery lasts. The other battery, like this, I don't know if it's a GoPro, the batteries or what, but they're not very, like, they can't handle shit. Right in front of me, didn't really check it out, but it is a extremely large rock that's just broken off. Wow.
I do have better examples, but you can see the colours change as the rock gets deeper in the water. I want to mention that I have claimed that pink colour on the rocks is algae, but I honestly don't think it is. I've been trying to search on Google or wherever what that is, but I just can't seem to find it.
See how we get lower, top there, gets more and more seaweedy to the point where it gets bull kelp again, some of that bull kelp. Yeah, look at this bad boy. Very strong. This is also chipped off here, crack. expert on erosion, but that has to at least fall off within the next couple of years. There's no way. I wouldn't even stand on there at all. Look at that, man. Oh my goodness. The further and further you get out, the more crazy stuff you see. We're getting very close to the main wave line here. Obviously, because there's not much big waves, it's all good. So there's rocks in the water, it's kind of like what causes the main waves.
Like I mentioned, it does get more and more rugged the further out you go. I tried navigating right to the end quickly, but there are so many deep holes, rock pools and trenches that you're basically playing tightrope, and if you slip, you're going for an ice bath. All that aside, it was very nerve-wracking being out that far, and I have a habit of panning the camera everywhere I looked. You can see me do it several times here.
Probably one of the closest times I've ever gotten to these waves. But you can see there are some little rocks, not little, but rocks in the water. You can see that constant whitewash means there's definitely rocks in there. The amount of salt on my GoPro right now. Wow. It's a wave doing that. See, again, it's cut in because of that water really close to the rocks just here. Got another floating rock. There it is. Look at that in there, another floating rock. Oh my goodness. I was standing right there. Oh my god. Gonna end it up on a good one like that. Just see that. Just how thin that rock is just crazy. So, I'll be honest, it's pretty chilly. It's cold. GoPro battery's about to die, the last battery. Batteries do not last for shit, but it's about time we go anyway.
The amount of floating rocks there was leaving me speechless and intrigued on what else there was to find. But I'll save that for not the next video, but the one after. I have only just started this journey, with this being part 1, and I will do my best to make the next video significantly shorter than this. Packing up, didn't even notice. You can't see because of the exposure. I think you can see there. This is like all... There's no way this is the waves. Those rocks out there, yes, but this is like... Oh my goodness. Wow, man. You can literally go in there. Just sit and hide. If I ever do something naughty, mate, I know where I'm hiding. Lastly, as of editing, I've come up with a name for this series. My Quest of Exploring the Best, Mornington Peninsula Edition. But that's all, folks. Thanks for watching.